Welcome to DNS Makers. Today we're going to make gluten-free triple chocolate gluten-free truffle cookies. And even people who don't like cookies or chocolate tend to request these each year when I bribe my employees to do their self-evals. So here we go. We're gonna start this process. First, I'm gonna turn the oven on to 350 degrees and just let that start heating. I've already started putting some chocolate in here, but we're going to use unsweetened chocolate bars, cocoa bars. You just break them up. And we're going to melt this with butter, chocolate, and chocolate chips. I have additionally added the butter. We're going to put in 12 tablespoons, so it's just a little bit over a full cube of butter. And now I'm just waiting for the oven to heat up, and then we'll be taking it out every few minutes, mixing it, making sure that the chocolate is melting evenly. That's the oven. We're gonna put this in the oven and just let it heat up a little. And don't do what I do all the time, which is forget that it's hot and grab it without a hot pad, because I've done that a few times. The original recipe calls for 1 cup of all-purpose flour, but since I'm doing this in a gluten-free version, I'm going to share with you what my alternatives to that is. I have tapioca flour, this is Bob's Red Mill, and I also am using Arrowroot flour right here, also Bob Red Mill, and then I'm also going to add Xanthan gum so that you have more of a consistency that holds all the ingredients together. So, trying to be careful because this stuff poofs out all over everything. Since I'm doubling the batch, we're going to have a half a cup of tapioca. There we go. Alright, and then for the xanthan gum, I'm going to go ahead and put in 1 teaspoon. That might seem like a lot, but when you're using so much chocolate, it actually it's not really noticeable. Put that in there. Mix it all up, and there we go. Alright, let's check the chocolate. It's really starting to melt, so I'm going to go ahead and stir it. I'm using a Calphalon 450 degree non-meltable spatula here, which is pretty important. You don't want to use one that starts melting with your chocolate. And just kind of take your time with this. Those bigger chunks of unsweetened chocolate are going to take a while to melt, so just be patient. I'm going to add my 4 tablespoons of cocoa powder. I use the dark cocoa powder just because I like more of the really strong chocolate flavor. So there's 3 and 4. Next, I'm going to add my baking powder. And 1/2 teaspoon salt. If you have a little whisk, that'd work good too. But because I don't have a huge kitchen or a kitchen elf, I use as few implements as possible to get to the end goal, which is cookies. So this part of the process takes 6 eggs and 2 cups sugar. It's a lot of sugar. So if you're trying to cut down on sugar, consider stevia in the raw. It's cup for cup, so you don't have to try and change your recipe too much. It does give a little bit different aftertaste, but if you're trying to minimize sugar, this is a good alternative. I'm going for the all sugar version. So here we go. So what we're going to do is we're going to add sugar to this, and what's really cool, if you've not noticed this before, is if you beat eggs and sugar together, it almost gets this almost like a mousse consistency. So we're going to give that a try here. I'm going to mix these up just a little bit. Alright, so it's got this like glossy, smooth texture. See how it kind of gets a sheen when you let it sit? It's just kind of shiny. That's what we're looking for. So now I'm just going to let it sit and I'm going to clean up my mess here. So I have had this in the fridge for probably about 20 minutes. You can see it still is a little bit runny, but it's not hot anymore. It's just kind of warm. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn on my KitchenAid just to slow, and I'm going to slowly incorporate the chocolate.
Oh.
My favorite part.
I have to say that looks pretty good.
Just a tad more room here. I want to get every little bit of this that I can because it's pretty strong stuff. It's not sweet, that's for sure. It's kind of just a rich chocolate flavor.
So you used a lot of dark chocolate and cocoa powder which tends to be a little bit more on the bitter side.
Yep.
But with the eggs and sugar that you're adding it to, that gives it a lot of the sweet, really chocolatey flavor.
Yeah, it kind of balances the two out.
And they're good.
Okay. Just add a little more. And then we're going to add the flour. And this is always the messiest part because you remember how powdery. Uh-oh. Oh my goodness, that tastes amazing. Here, try some.
Mmm.
Alright, so now I'm just going to add the chocolate chips and we're done.
What, more chocolate chips?
I told you.
Wow. How much more are we adding?
2 more cups.
Nice.
And since it's slightly warm, it's almost room temperature.
One got away. I'm eating
I'm
that.
so sorry. Since it's almost room temperature, these don't melt too much. But if you add the melted chocolate, when it's still really warm, and you add the chocolate chips start melting too, and there's just like barely essence of chocolate chips in there. But if you wait a little while, then they hold their chocolate chip shape. So it's kind of up to you if you want them to melt or not. So now all we have to do is wait till tomorrow. I'm just gonna let this be in the fridge, cool down, and we cook them once they're extremely cold.
Goodbye, cookies!
Okay, so it's been one day. This has just been sitting in the refrigerator. Let's take a look at how it is today. So there it is. Use a spoon here. So you can see it's really pretty. It's almost like ice cream consistency. It's very, very cold and firm. So there you go. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make one cookie shape, and I'm just going to see how much it weighs, because this is about the size I want my cookies to be, but I want them all to cook evenly. So I'm going to actually weigh them. You don't have to do this, but if you want your cookies to be consistently cooked, this is always a good idea. So I'm going to go to grams. Wait for it to zero out. And it's looking like this is about 27 grams of cookie dough. So then I'm going to take a little bit of cocoa, because as you can see this becomes a mess really fast. I'm just going to put some in a little bowl. And this will allow me to coat each cookie before I roll it into a ball, so it's not as much of a disaster. And this is a little bit messy, just a little bit. Alright, so now I've got a giant bowl full of this process to do over and over and over again. Okay. Looks like I've murdered a chocolate bunny. But I'm gonna go ahead and try and check these. So take a look at this. So I'm gonna just poke these a little bit. They're really, really soft still, but that's okay. They're supposed to be like that. We're gonna take them out. All right, so you're gonna let them cool just a little bit, but you don't want them to completely cool on here because then they're a little harder to take off the cookie sheet. So once they've cooled just a little bit, then we're gonna scoop them. Takes a while to make these things, but they are worth every minute. So I'm gonna pick one out here. I want to just show you the consistency. So they're still a little scooshy. And then, oh, that's so awesome. So I'm gonna let the cameraman try it.
Oh, that's good. That is really good.
So this is more like fudge or chocolate candy. It's very rich and probably a little more on the chocolate side instead of the sweet side. Very much a dark chocolate treat. So if you're looking for something gluten-free for a friend who loves hearts chocolate,